This video is sponsored by DecalWorks, offering 10% off all graphics to retail customers. Use the promo code RX10 at decalmx.com to receive 10% off your graphics.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Chris Kiefer. To the right of me is Zeb Armstrong, and this is his 2021 YZ250F. Now, originally, we were going to do this video as a garage build, but then I started thinking, I get a ton of emails about, hey, Kiefer, which bike should I buy? I've been out of the sport about 10 years. I'm 200 pounds. I'm going to start losing some weight. 450 might be too much for me. Do I need a 350? What do I need? Zeb came to me a couple months ago and go, hey, man, I just bought a YZ250F. I want to start riding again, going out to the track with my dad. Zeb is what are we pushing, Zeb?
We're about 275 right now, working on getting back under 250.
Okay, so this is the reason why I wanted to do this video and bring it out to you guys. I feel like a 250F in general is a great bike to get reacquainted with the sport. If you're going to go ride some moto. 450 could be too much for you. You're not in shape. I wanted to get Zeb in here to talk about his bike, the reasons why we went over this YZ250F. So, right now, before we go ride this thing, why did you choose a YZ250F? I mean, you have a 450 as well, but being 270 pounds, people are like, no way, the YZ250 is not enough power. Break it down to these people right now.
So, a YZ250F, I mean, in my opinion, is the best starting platform for a 250 for sure. And I had a KTM 350 previously, and I love the motor, but I'm not a huge fan of the chassis on the KTM, probably because I'm a bigger dude. But I kind of wanted to get that same motor feeling, but in a Yamaha chassis, so I could get the KYB stuff and all that, and have a really good motor. So that was kind of my goal. And then the arm pump issue, when you're just getting back into riding, it's not that I don't have the talent anymore or the speed or anything like that. I can still go as fast as I ever did in the past, but I pump up so fast because I don't get to ride 3 or 4 days a week, right? I'm a 1 or 2 day a weeker if I'm lucky. So for me, a 250F, I can ride a little longer, and honestly, I have more fun and I can last way longer. So for me, it's kind of a no-brainer to ride a 250F to help me get in a little better shape. And, you know, I'm sure a year down the road, if I stick with it and, you know, get more into it, then I'll be able to hold on to a 450 a little better. But for right now, for me, a 250F, I'm probably faster on it as well. So it works out great for me as long as you get the suspension done and everything. They rip, they're fun, they pull me up the hills of Glen Helen, no problem. So I'm stoked to ride a 250, and I'm not measuring with anybody else.
That's what I'm about to say. So if you got your buddies out there going, man, you need a 450, 250 is too slow, look it. Obviously this has some motor work done. We're going to talk about that, but I wanted to set the platform. Like a 250F in general is a good platform to get reacquainted with the sport, to get built back up like Zeb is. And if it's not a Yamaha, obviously there could be other brands out there that are good for you out there, but the YZ250F has the most torque. Bigger guy like Zeb, he needs a little bit of torque to get him out of corners, to keep the fun factor up, but not so much in a 450 where it's going to rip your arms out. So there is some motor work and suspension work done. Obviously, you look over this thing, there's some bits and pieces that are really sexy. And so real quick, before we go ride this thing, because you're going to ride, I'm going to ride it, and Allan Brown, he's been around the sport for quite some time. He did some stuff to the engine. So what's going on here?
Yeah, so Allan built my bikes way back in the Moto XXX days and stuff like that. And ever since then, I've been chasing that feeling motor-wise. You know, those bikes were amazing. I mean, Kyle Lewis hole-shotted everything, right?
I remember those days, yeah.
Yeah, that 450, 05 to 08 Honda 450, those things were magical. I would buy one of those right now if I found a brand new one, even though carbureted. But I've been chasing that ever since. So Allan's a good friend of mine. I told him I was getting a 250F and kind of what I was going for and wanted some more torque and horsepower out of it. And, you know, Allan's so cool. Yeah, man, bring it down. Let's do a cool project and everything. And that's when I got a hold of you, like, hey, man, I got something fun kind of in the works. You want to do this with me? And so that's how it kind of all came about. But Allan's got his own specs. Obviously, he works with the team in Canada still. And he has a lot of good specs and measurements still. So he did the head, a special cut piston that's JE, more compression, and cam as well. He has his own spec that he's doing. And I put a twin air high flow cage in, put some clamps on it. My buddy does the suspension, Brian, and then Little D hooked me up with some exhaust for it. And other than that, I mean, motor stuff is, I'd love to tell you some numbers, but I mean, I'm just a dirt bike rider.
Yeah, this video isn't about the numbers, but we want to talk about what Zeb did to his bike. But for me, most importantly, it's to try to get you guys out there, the viewer, to know that a 250F is still a good platform, no matter size, ability. It's a fun bike to ride. I know some of you old schoolers out there being in your 50s and 60s, you're thinking, hey man, I need a 450 because I have 220 lbs on me and I need something to push me around the track. That's not necessarily true. So we're gonna go experience this. We're gonna get Zeb on it. He hasn't even ridden this thing. I know that I love a fast 250F. I've ridden some, so I'm gonna give you my opinion. We're gonna collaborate a little bit when we come back and then speak to you guys out there to actually see if what we're talking about is true. Maybe, who knows, maybe Zeb will be unhappy. I have no idea.
For sale. Yeah. For sale. Right. No, that ain't happening.
We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back. I rode this sucker. Zeb rode it. And I just want to start out by saying 250Fs are fun. Stock 250Fs are fun. If I was going to just purchase a bike myself, not race, and just ride to have fun, I would get a 250F. Why? Because it's easy to control, easy to ride. Yes, it's not as fast, but I feel like at most of the track, I can actually ride faster in portions of the track than I can the 450. So for me, I enjoyed this bike because obviously it's a little bit faster. It has more torque. It's a little snappier, more exciting. Obviously, it's going to have to be a little bit more exciting because of my big man right to the right. So for me, I enjoy it. I'm 45 years old. I don't need to have some fire-breathing 450 dragon out there to let everyone know how cool and good I am of a rider. I like to ride the machine more than 10 minutes. This bike does it for me right here. Zeb, you brought your 450 out too as well. He has a new CRF 450R WE, and then we have this right here. So give these people out here a snippet of what it's like to ride this, and then also compare it to riding a 450 for you. 270 pounds, people. 270. Dude can ride real quick. My buddy's here. He's out there watching people ride, and he's like, Kiefer, there's some big dude out there riding right now that rides good. He's ripping. I'm like, it's probably Zeb. And he's like, no, it's not Zeb. I go out there. Sure enough, it's this guy right here.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, super fun. Man, thanks for having me out. This has been a fun project. Rode the 450, went out on it first while you rode this thing. And, you know, I come in, I'm definitely tired. I'm like, man, I need to stretch a little bit. I got to, you know, stretch the arms out quite a bit, you know, and then I get on this thing when you got off of it, you move the bars up, put it in a men's position.
Put tall seat on.
Yep, tall seat, men's position. So I go out on it, and I can ride this thing all day long. And I almost guarantee you, if you were to do lap times back and forth, I can still go pretty good, I think. I've always been a smoother type guy. You know, I'm not going to hang it out like, you know, I'm not 16, but I can definitely push it a lot harder on a 250, that's why I feel like I go faster on a 250, and it's nice to be able to rev it and be able to, the bike works really good when you're revved, right? You can move it easier, and you know, they're so fun to turn, and the 450, you can get yourself in trouble really quick.
Yeah, you can be more aggressive with this than you can the 450. Right?
Completely. So it's fun to be more aggressive and not worry about getting yourself in trouble. So, man, I can ride longer. I think I'm faster on a 250, and it's the fun factor for me. I'm not winning nothing. I'm not racing. I might do some races this year for fun. I'm trying to, you know, cut some LBs down.
But it's funny because I'm trying to race. So here's the key word, people. Yeah. If this thing wasn't fun to ride, racing wouldn't even come to mind. No. But you're riding this bike good, so bing, the light goes on. Huh, maybe I'll go race. Another key factor for me, safety. You want to keep riding the bike. You don't want to be on the couch laid up. So having a bike that's rideable, keeping you safe, and then ding, that little light again, I want to go race. That's all positives.
Yeah, I know you're always pushing for people to race, right? And I have races at my facilities all the time, and my buddies come and ride, and I'm always doing the race schedule and dealing with protests and the people, you know, I deal with the problems. I'm the one putting out the fires 24/7. So it's fine. That's the job. I'm good at it, you know, but
you're around it a lot. Maybe you don't want to ride, but
I would like to ride. I see my buddies doing it, and I'm doing the race schedule with my girls who do a fantastic job for me, and I'm watching my buddies go by, and I'm like, man, I would really like to jump in a couple motos, you know? And so now I'm going, okay, how can I get all my work done at the races in my gear and maybe sneak out in a couple races for fun? And I'm my own worst critic, right? If I don't like a section of the track or I don't think it flows great or whatever, I'm motivated to change stuff. And, you know, so for me, I think it's really good that I ride, and my crew does a fantastic job. But it's good for me to just insert little ideas with them, and I try to give them the creativity. But for me, I think it's a huge positive when I ride my own tracks.
And you have to have a bike that you want to go ride.
Completely, and I feel safe on. I had a Yamaha 450. I love Yamahas, dude. I raced them forever, right? Dude, that bike scares me. Yeah. It does. When I get tight and I'm coming into a corner and all of a sudden, you know, and it wants to get away from you when you're trying to slow down, I'm like, all right, time to go back to the van, you know, and that's, you know, 2 or 3 laps. That doesn't make it very fun for me. So a 250F, I don't get those feelings. And ALLAN built me a ripper, so I still have the torque and horsepower. So now I feel like I can still jump everything, I can still do everything, but I'm not getting myself in trouble. I'm not putting myself in that situation. So that, to me, is motivating to ride more and race more.
Let's touch on that. So ALLAN Brown built this engine. For me, I ride Yamahas a lot. You guys know that. I ride 250Fs quite a bit. A lot more front side. When we say front side in the business here, we mean more bottom to mid-range. So it has more of that for Zeb. I feel like I could use a little bit more top end, but there's ways to go around that. You can map it ECU-wise. He could do stuff with the cam. So for me, this is built for him. It's not directed towards me. But when I get on this thing and I ride a 250F, I want some excitement. This bike has a lot of that. And I guess this whole video is based around, you want a bike that you can have fun on, ride a long time, and then spread that joy when you get home. Because there's nothing else better than driving away from the track knowing that you just had the best time ever, and it just sets the tone for the rest of your day. Hell, for the rest of the week. You can corner so good on this bike. Even Zeb's big you-know-what springs are in here. And it's... Yeah,
men springs.
Men springs, and it's still cornered very well. It's just
Ford Raptor. It's off a Ford Raptor.
Leaf springs. That's what it is. So ALLAN did a great job with the motor. He's had experience. I've ridden his motors before. I raced up in Canada a few times. He does great work, obviously with the FMF system, and of course things that I like: pro taper bars. Not
stock
a
grips.
Honestly, no hate comms on the stock grips, because stock Yamaha grips aren't bad for me. They're a little fat, but better than lock-ons. Are you a lock-on guy?
I am not. I am not. I love Renthal mediums. I'm trying to get Pro Taper to get me something similar to a Renthal medium, so I might have you give me some tips on which grip to go to.
So you guys at home, you guys are looking to get back in the sport. You guys are 200 plus pounds. Don't be scared of a 250F. This Yamaha has enough torque stock, and then you add a little to it, and oh my gosh, fun times. Your family will be happier because you're going to come home happier. You're going to want to ride more, and that's the key. That's what we want in our industry. We want people to have fun, enjoy riding. There's a lot more of you that are doing that, a lot more of you that may be interested in doing that. So don't be scared of a 250F option. Vet riders, older dudes, bigger dudes, it's a fun bike to ride. So you're going to go home. Last question here. You're going to go home and you're going to ride a bike. What are you taking out of your van to go ride on your own track?
So that depends on what time of the day. Early in the morning, probably going to go out on the 450 if I'm breaking the track in. But after that, it's going to be 250 life, honestly.
Now, you're one of the few that can afford a 450 and a 250 right now. But if you had to buy one, I'm going to put this on you right now. You had to buy one, and you want to ride, and you're going to race a little bit. Okay, because we're trying to be honest here in this video.
All right.
What would you choose? What would you buy?
If I had to choose right now for this year, for my situation with just getting back into it and wanting to do a couple races to get my feet wet, I'm going to go with my 250 right now. That's my pick.
There you have it, folks. 270, measly 170 right here. Less of a man than Zeb, but nonetheless, Allan Brown, YZ250F, fun to ride. Thank you to all the companies for doing this. This has been a fun project for me. I love this kind of stuff. Zeb knows it. I like when people ride. I'm on Steve Mathis's case. I'm on his case. Look how much happier. Look, there's a smile on his face. No RDF here, people.
Oh, man, it was a good day. It was super fun. I appreciate it. I know the edit's going to be awesome, and I hope he's got some video of me wheeling up the hill. I come out. I can't believe this thing up.
It has a lot of power down low.
Dude, right? I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to sit forward so my pants stay on, you know, and I don't want to look like a freaking tool on the video, so it's like, all right, man, I hope it turns out good, you know, but yeah, I can wheelie over that bump and everything. It's got plenty for me, so I'm not like reaching for anything more by any means. I just need to spend a little more time on the bike, get some seat time, but man, it's so fun. I'm having so much fun now.
He's going to go ride it even after we're done right here. So we're going to leave here. RacerXOnline.com. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget RacerX publication, 12 issues. Get a cool sticker sheet. And, of course, RacerX has merch. Let's go to RacerXbrand.com. That is really cool. I have a nice hoodie that I like to wear from RacerX. RacerX hat, as you can see. And we're going to continue to do some more fun videos in the next couple months. I can't wait for you guys to see what's coming down the pipe. And as always, you can email me any questions that you have, chris@keeferinctesting.com. My door is open for you. You got a 250F question. You want to know what Zeb's all about? I can give you that information too. See you on the next go-around.